So I was reading an article where it said that Mikey Garcia believes that Shakur Stevenson will lose to Tank Davis at 135 if they fight. He said, Shakur is a good fighter, but basically Gervonta Davis powers, it's that power that's going to be the deciding factor. He's saying it's the power that he see being a problem for Shakur Stevenson. Now, I know my angle on this whole thing. Okay, with Tank, between Tank, Devin, and Shakur. Tank says, he said on the, what podcast was that? He was on the Rise podcast. I think that's them dude's name. He was on there and he said pretty much, Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney don't have enough power to keep him off of them. Okay, so with that being said, you can pretty much expect Tank to try to walk down Shakur if they fight. To Tank's detriment, man, because Shakur's power, I think, to be honest, it might be overrated. It might be underrated. At 135, he might pack more of a punch. I don't know if it'll be enough to hurt Tank, but Shakur is a naturally big dude, and so is Devin Haney. A lot of dudes that Tank been fighting been pulled up in weight. Naturally smaller dudes that don't have a problem making 126, 130. You know what I mean? Not struggling to make weight. So, I said Devin beats Tank with his jab, but I also think Shakur might end up piecing Tank up in that fight too. Shakur has a higher punch volume than Tank. Tank likes to look for that one shot. And here's my thing though. Tank can also box. So it'll be rather interesting for a while. It might be a chess match. Shakur does get hit sometimes. The thing is, between these two, the deciding factor is if Tank can handle Shakur's sneaky shots, or if Tank can handle the elusiveness of Shakur without getting frustrated. And then it also comes down to Shakur if he's able to take Tank's punch. They sparred when they were younger, but they were younger and now was sparring. They're both much better fighters now, significantly. But that's what it boils down to when it comes to these dudes have two different styles. So they say styles make fights. You got Tank. He's a puncher. I consider Tank a boxer puncher. Shakur, from what I see, he seems like a almost like a pure boxer, right? So lots of times pure boxers give boxer punchers and brawlers a lot of hell. They give them nightmares. So it's a slight chance. Shakur might end up being a nightmare for Tank Davis, man. And the question is, why hasn't Tank fought these dudes that have, these dudes that have this power and all of this? He should have ran through Shakur and Devin long ago, man. Just my opinion. Why has Floyd been keeping Tank away from these two dudes, man? I mean, it's pretty obvious. And not just Tank. I mean, not just Devin and Shakur, but other fighters too. Loma, whole lot of other fighters. Now, Tank's supposedly be coming back in December. So we know it's not going to be against Shakur Stevenson, because word is Shakur Stevenson and Frank Martin supposed to be fighting in, I think, November. So that's not going to happen between Tank and Shakur. Would be nice if Tank, I don't know if they're waiting on the Shakur and Frank Martin winner, and Tank going to fight somebody in December, which is going to be Isak Cruz, I believe. The Isak Cruz rematch. So my early prediction is that fight between Tank and Shakur, if is going to be lined up, it's probably going to be sometime maybe early February. Not even February. Like March or April of 2024. So that's just a date that I'm throwing out there. I could be wrong, could be way off on this, but we'll see. I like the fight. I think Tank, been moving funny. I think Floyd been moving him funny. Leonard Ellerby been moving him funny. Tank he supposedly had cut loose from Floyd, but we all know that's BS. All right, so we'll see, man, what's going on. What's going to be the next fight for Tank? Because, I just said I think it was going to be Shakur early next year. I don't think so. I forgot all about the Teofimo Lopez thing. There's already chatter about Tank and Tio fighting, I guess after Isak Cruz, but should be interesting to see how that happens because Tank said he don't like 140. Leonard Ellerbe said he's never fighting up there. He fought up there once. He's not fighting after Mario Barrios. That's what Leonard Ellerbe said. Tank said he feel better at 135. So are we looking at another dude that's going to bend to the will of Tank being one of the money makers and end up trying to drain himself into a catchweight again? I hope Tio don't fall for the bullshit. Tell Tank come on up and get this real strap. Tank, I'm never going to give Tank his utmost respect until he finally go for some real belts at these higher divisions, man. Not 130. I'm talking about 135, 140. Then I give Tank a lot of credit. He fight Tio, Devin. If he fights Tio at 140, he fights Devin at 140, he fights Shakur at 135, I give him his respect. Until then, nah. His shit getting streamed all day. Anyway, let me know what you think about Tank Davis versus Shakur Stevenson. However that fight turned out. This is Rebel Life Boxing. Thanks for watching. Catch y'all later.